Namaskaram. Welcome to my channel, Living Consciously. So today we are going to shoot the second episode of Conscious Conversation, and today we would be having the conversation with Riddhi Shah. So she is also a classical Hatha Yoga teacher and trained by Isha Foundation. And it's my pleasure to talk with her today. So very warm welcome you, Akka. Namaskaram. And so let's start with introducing yourself. So just tell the audience about it. Where are you from? What's your background, family members, and what you do? So we will begin with that.
Namaskaram. Thank you so much, Payal, for giving me this beautiful opportunity to connect with you and have a conversation on your channel. You're doing amazing work, and
Thank you so much, Akka.
I'm really happy and thrilled to collaborate with you. So, yes, my name is Riddhi. I belong to a Jain family. I'll start introducing myself from my roots, my family, and how it all started, walking on a spiritual journey. So, uh, my name is Riddhi. My parents are Rama and Satish. My mother, she creates Ganesha idols closing her eyes, and she has a Guinness Book of World Record on her. My mother
Amazing.
is Thank you. My mother is a highly evolved being, and she has put in so many teachings which I feel like she has been doing her sadhana since many birth times, many lifetimes. So I'm really blessed to have such a mother. And my father, he deals with pure saffron. We are a family legacy since 1941. My grandfather
Wow.
started this beautiful work. This is an exotic spice, and mainly this spice. It's a beautiful red color which emerges from this beautiful yellow color, which emerges from this is utilized for uh, exotic recipes, sweets, and medicine, and also fragrances. So we deal with saffron, and it's a very holistic herb. Today it gets adulterated, but we are sticking to our integrity and our policy. So I'm very proud to belong to such a background. My sister, she is a mechanical engineer. She works with Bharat Electronics Limited as a deputy engineer. And
Oh,
yes, and she serves the country as all the defense mechanism, electronic voting machine, and such. They get created in this firm. At the same time, they also design various aspects like lastly, she designed metro flooring. Um, so she is very creative and technical. And my brother is a football player. He is studying MBA right now.
mhm.
And so now I'll share about myself. I am an architect, a fashion designer, and since 2016, I am also a Isha Hatha Yoga teacher. It's a privilege to explore my life through spirituality and creativity. So I'm taking on teaching part time, and I'm also taking on having a creative side of my exploration through such design mediums like of fabric and of creating lifestyles, creating architecture. So yes, and Sadhguru designs beautiful stuff. He has he has created a beautiful ashram. So to be honest, looking at the aesthetics of the ashram, it struck my spirit, and to be really honest, his architecture has pulled me through walking on the path of Isha, looking at how integrated the entire space looks, and it really inspires my spirit how disciplined and the way we create the ambience for taking up the class, how deeply it has been given a thought. And Sadhguru has been a great inspiration for me when I was completing my architectural work, my thesis. And I have studied his architecture to create my own spiritual thesis, the thesis on spiritual structures. So yes, that way Sadhguru plays an important part in my architectural life as well as a Isha Hatha Yoga teacher.
Wonderful, Aka. It was so amazing to know about your background. I think it's amazing that what you shared with us. And if you can share some pics about whatever project you did as a thesis, I think the audience will also would love to see that. Like
Yeah.
we are inspired by Sadhguru, you can tell. So you can, so we'll share that so that you can see it.
Yes.
So coming to that, Aka, so not only this you do, I just was looking for some content of you and I come to across the research in Sanskrit. So how did that all started?
Yeah, thank you for curiously noticing and observing things that I do, things that so many teachers in our teacher community do, and you have taken this beautiful initiative to interact, like how deep a life of a teacher is, and they come from so many different aspects. And currently, also, they are doing so many new things, like how you are doing, like creating recipes and stuff. So, I really love that you are curiously engaged and connecting with people authentically, connecting with teachers. Yes. So about Sanskrit, 10 years back, I got inspired through having my guru. Like initially, it all started with Kriya Yoga, with my Sudarshan Kriya from Art of Living, and from
Oh,
yes. So
you will be surprised that initially I also started my spiritual journey with Ravi Shankar, and I also did Sudarshan Kriya.
how
I
beautiful
had also done that before.
to know that,
Yeah.
how beautiful it is, all interwoven. And I don't think I am worthy enough to choose my master. I think the masters choose me. So yeah, it's my big honor and it's a big grace that is showering upon us to receive that Guru grace, the essence of Guru Tattva. So yeah, he has played an important role in my life to bring me back to my Indianness, because the society influence attracts all the glamour and westernization and the glitz. And so then at one point we are unable to draw a line how far we recognize ourselves, how far we can uproot ourselves from our core. And that's the point when masters come in our life to bring us back to our roots and our core. So he has played an important role to bring back uh, to myself and my roots, and he created the meaning and essence of what all these rituals are all about, what Ayurveda is all about. So I have visited the ashram thoroughly, and I know how uh, even they are creating medicines, like how Isha Rejuvenation has Siddha doctors, even they have it. So um, my appreciation for my Indianness and how deeply authentic it is, and how our scriptures contain so much of knowledge and value, and it is sad that we are unable to read that.
So
So,
true.
so that has given me this thirst that I want to read Sanskrit, and I want to speak Sanskrit. And 10 years back, I thought it's a wishful dream. Someday I will do it. But today it is unfolding for me, and I have joined classes with Sanskrit Bharati and Sringeri Mat. To they are serving. They are not charging anything. They are serving to survive Sanskrit, and I think it's a great leadership to stand for this language, which is called as Nirvana Bhasha. It's a God's language. So yeah, it's a beautiful experience in its own, because I get goosebumps when I'm reading in Sanskrit or when I'm talking in Sanskrit with somebody.
That's really great, Akka. So you have started studying now, because our all ancient things are in Sanskrit, or Prakrut Bhasha, that we say, the first before Sanskrit also it's there. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. So in the Sanskrit also there are different types of scripts, like that you mentioned, like you're learning the specific Sanskrit. Is it like that? Because I'm not aware of.
Sanskrit right now is in Devanagari script, like we
Okay.
write Hindi and Marathi. So
Marathi. Uh-huh.
I'm
Okay.
learning that.
So okay. So in the description, I can put this institute you're working on. So if you want to explore that, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah. So moving on to the, like, how did Isha happen to you, or when did you decided to do classical Hatha Yoga teacher training? So how did that happen in your life?
Wow, this is a beautiful question. Um, it was on the last day of my inner engineering in 2013,
Hmm.
where in the closing section after inner engineering, when Swami Lavitra, he was it's a walkthrough video of ashram. So sitting there in that classroom of inner engineering, and I am in my third year of architecture, where uh, it's like day and night I'm only thinking architecture, because of the amount of handwork and amount of assignments that are given to us. So my uh, view about entire life used to emerge from uh, the angle of architecture. So in that walkthrough, I saw something, and which I had already experienced in the inner engineering classroom, the way they had prepared the ambience. So I had an alive experience of what being in the ashram would mean to be. And the video about teacher training was also shared with us. And Swami said there's this 6 months, uh, 5 months, 21-week teacher training program, and it's a residential program. And I was like, okay, this is it. So in 2013, I said, should I do it now? Should I take a break from architecture and go for the training? Or should I complete architecture and then go for the training? So I said, okay, let me be in integrity, let me complete my architecture. And immediately after that, I submitted my thesis, and I was already selected in the process of interview and stuff. And yeah, in May, I was declared as an architect. In July, I landed into the ashram. That was my first visit to the ashram, and I knew that it would be fascinating. So I didn't want to give any chance. Like, okay, pehle jaake dekhti hu. Let me go and check out the ashram. If I like it, if I don't like it, I was like, no, this is it. I'm going, and I just landed there, and at the stretch of 21 weeks plus. So that's how it all
So
happened.
you said like in 2013 you did your inner engineering and then you completed your course and then first time you went directly for the teacher training. So before that you never went to ashram.
No, I went in 2016
Okay.
directly. Yeah.
Okay. So just for the audience, like inner engineering is the basic course which is, or we can say a flagship course which is offered by Isha Foundation. If you want to know more about inner engineering, I would be putting that into description. Go and check it out. It's an life-changing course, I can say, like for most of the people. It's a very wonderful course.
Yes.
So moving on to like you then you in 2016 you went there for your teacher training course. So before that you were doing a job after you completed your thing, or was anything you were doing, or you after just completed and you
I
started
just
with your hard work?
I just completed it and I landed in the ashram. I thought ashram life will give me some time to complete certain offers. I had received an offer from my Mama and Mami to design Mama and Mami's uncle in Gujarati. So yeah, so my uncle and aunt, they wanted me to design their bungalow, and
Mhm.
I was like, okay, let's see. But so yeah, I had to turn down all the offers that I had received, and I was committed to complete my Isha Hat Yoga teacher training.
So how was with your decision? Like family was supportive for you for this particular teacher training course, and you were very persistent about your Shambhavi Mahamudra that we learned in inner engineering. So was you doing it daily at before that?
See, my practices were on and off, but yes, definitely whenever I was in a challenging point and when I wanted to get grounded with the reality, I used to do my mandalas. I used to get regular with my yoga, and I want to say that my entire process of uh, the final year of architecture, and even in between, when there used to be phases where I didn't know how to handle so much of pressure of so many projects and assignments, and they were challenging by themselves. So yoga has been my core to live through what I have committed for in my life. So yeah, yoga plays an important role in my life. It has always been, and people used to ask me before this training whether I am able to teach, and I had no training in any other yoga aspect. So I gave it a point. I gave it a thought that it's a great point when people are asking me if I am able to teach something, because maybe they might have got from their some conversation that I may make a good teacher. So it was the people who created me, that okay, can you teach? And then I gave it a thought. Okay, let's do the teacher training. It's not that I wanted to be a teacher, but it was my inner transformation, and if I can share it out to the world, it will be nothing like it. So
So there was a family support for you. They were okay with you going for 5 months and
yes, they were okay. They were apprehensive initially, and they had me set up with a Jain monk, and they also wanted a clarity whether I'm choosing a right path, whether everything will be safe and secure with me. So so I had to have my discussion with them. Sometimes the discussion used to go for 3 hours. So I can convey everything inside out with them, and they can be assured that yes, I am going somewhere to gain value and contribute in the society. So so that way, yes, they have been supportive.
So how was the teacher training course for you, Miss, in this 5 months? So what are the best moments you had there?
The best moments are, of course, when we had meetings with Sadhguru. Those were the best moments. Otherwise, yes, my ultimate moment in the entire Hatha Yoga teacher training was when in that time Ashwinaka, she is now a ma. So when she was teaching Angamardana, and uh, in Virasana, I had this experience that I do not exist anymore. I had an experience of samadhi in Virasana. So I was bound, I was blown by it, and I was completely awe inspired, like what teaching can do to people. And so once we completed Angamardana, I did a Sashtang Namaskar to Ashwina Akka, who is Jayatri Ma right now. So yeah, that's a profound experience that I have had inside of teacher training. And this experience used to, of course, be in when I learned yogasanas, when I learned other processes. This experience used to definitely flow through entire training. So yes, it's profound. And talking about uh, having the ambience, so Dhyanalinga, like having that the opportunity to visit Dhyanalinga, uh, to dive in the Tirth Kund and Devi temple. So many a times I used to experience Kundalini rising, and at times not always very pleasant. It used to feel like immense heat in the system, and balancing that aspect out. I think uh, I think I had a very firm decision in of commitment in myself that whatever come what may, I will stick around. I will cry. I will become a problem to people. I don't know what all is going to happen, because when we are impacted, obviously the surrounding is impacted. So I'm really grateful whoever was present in the training, and whoever has we are connected, and whoever has positively impacted me, and whom I have impacted on. Like I'm really grateful for all the positive and negative that comes up, and help us shed all of those things. Like it is so obvious and out there that okay, this is something which I need to transform. And uh, I think the Hatha Yoga teacher training gives that kind of a strength to uh, look at it in that perspective also. So my entire life after the training has not been the same. And I feel like I'm carrying a small ashram, like a miniature ashram, in myself, in my soul, in my heart, and nothing can separate that, even if I'm staying some kilometers apart. So nothing can separate that.
Wonderful, Akka. So, can you talk about the trips or fun part that you had there? Like, we used to have the trips and,
Yeah.
uh, you know, the moments you enjoyed a lot about so many country people are there. So, how was your experience, connecting with such diverse cultures and, you know, different types of cultures and all? Because I think around 25, 30 different countries people come from and more than that. So, how was your experience in that sense?
It's a beautiful experience when so many different cultures and ethnicities come together for a single cause. So I felt like humanity is not limited to skin color. In fact, uh, different skin colors make it a complete box of crayons. And
Yeah, such a nice way to put it. Yeah, so true.
so I felt like I'm finally one. I felt global, and I felt like this this spiritual seed is not defining to any race or religion. And I experienced belongingness when so many people who have never even sat on the floor, like how we Indians sit down, and they are sitting on the floor. They are having the food with using the hands and not using the spoon or fork or knife, and they are adapting to the Indian culture, which we are since long time. We are in this and we are familiar to this, but so when so many different cultural people, they come here and they own it up. Like, okay, this is my guru and this is my lifestyle, and this is my uniform, like all of them wearing the dhoti and kurta, all of them shaving their heads and wearing earring and wearing vibhuti. So those things, it expanded me, and I totally appreciate that they have flown down 7 oceans to do something huge for themselves and for humanity. So yeah, hats off to them. Standing ovation.
So, Akar, so as you said, Riddhi Shah, so you are in Gujarati. So I know how much Gujaratis love their food.
Yeah.
So after going to this course or going to ashram, has food as in changed for you? You know, it's not about just the taste, or is it changed you as a, like, how do you look to food and how do you eat? Is it? Can you talk about it?
Yes. Food has totally been. So I went to South India before this, but I never thought that South Indian food can consist of very healthy salads, and a complete meal is not only about idli or dosa. And when we studied Ayurveda, when we studied diet aspects in our training, at that point also, Swami created that your food consists of raw salads and chutney and soups and rasam, like what. So they used to serve us everything. Like they used to serve us gritam. But I think uh, food has completely been a marvelous experience for me. And over and above that, the special dinner that we used to be treated with. I never ever imagined like an ashram can host us with an Italian salad or a Greek sandwich or something which I may have never ever tried in a city life in my life. And I saw the volunteers creating those. So food has been completely like the entire ashram is thrilling and completely amazing, aesthetic. Even the food is aesthetic. The number of salads that we used to be served, I have lost count. The kind of ingredients they included in the salads. I used to,
Variety, different.
yeah, so many different varieties, and not always Indian. It used to be a great, it's a contemporary. They used to include broccoli, they used to include iceberg, and so they have tried their level best so that we have even a slightest of reason to stick around and not leave the trading. So they have taken great care of me and of an entire class of Isha Hat Yoga teachers in every way that they can. They have done that. So food has been amazing, and even if I'm a Gujarati, I never thought that I could consume so much of uh, pranic food, so much of healthy raw food, and so many new concoctions, like so many new combinations can be created and it can be made interesting. So that aesthetic has also come in my life through Sadhguru. So yeah, it's all round aesthetic. Sadhguru, yeah.
So, so if we talk about the transformation, so it's been like you did the training in 2016 and now it's 2020. So you must be doing the practices for 4 years now. So what's the difference you find in yourself, like how you are, or family members or friends, the people who know you? Uh, so what you find in yourself and what people find in you. So yeah, that's my question. So both aspects.
In one word, if I can share, then I will say that uh, uh, the hatha, like what I got is the hatha, like the stability or the power in which I exist in people's listening. So before Hatha Yoga, I used to exist as um, a very mild person. Like today, being a teacher and exploring the aspect of responsibility, taking a class with discipline and integrity, that has emerged for me as a stable person, which I was missing before the training. And uh, it has created more responsibility in my life. It has given me access to contribute to people. So this is a great medium which I can say, like even in this COVID times, like how the doctors, policemen, like how people are an army right now dealing with COVID patients. So I think Hatha Yoga has given me that sensitivity to uh, take this work as a contribution in people's lives, and how much ever I know, whatever I know, it has given me the aspect of responsibility that whatever I have, I need to share. So as a human being, I have expanded myself uh, through Isha Hat Yoga teacher training, and yeah, like having that credibility of Sadguru. Everyone on this planet knows Sadguru. There's nobody who doesn't know Sadguru. So having that credibility, and gradually as I grew, um, I have also seen that to be a teacher, whatever it takes. So, if I need to do some other training so that I can be a better teacher, so whatever it takes, I have taken that on, and I see that I have become open to receive. At the same time, even our community evolves, and whatever I discover, I have gained the expression to share it out.
Express.
Yeah, and be straight. Like, okay, this is where community, needs to transform and grow in oneness. So, yeah, like that is what is taking place. So I feel like it's a exchange. Like we are a community, and we are in an exchange. It's not like just one way for me. So yeah, I was invited to Landmark Forum by my shaman friend, and that's where I received an expression. And I see that whatever it takes, like if I have to share my journey, like when I was having barriers in teaching, and if I see that somebody has the similar barriers, even after they have become teacher, but there is another ball game to go out there and deal with people.
Teach.
Yes, to deal with their own shyness, maybe to deal with. So I transform many aspects of my own personality, my own behavior through certain training in ontology. So I see that if somebody benefits, and if a teacher benefits, or if a social service leaders, if humanitarians, they benefit, and the kind of work that they are doing, it can expand. So I share it very openly, that yeah, this is something you
So
should.
how did your relationship with your family and members, is it changed? They find you different from before training, after training, like in the lighter notes, as your sister, as a younger brother, sisters that you have, or your parents or your relatives. They find what difference in you? It's like now you have changed for good or bad, but yeah.
Yeah, they find a great difference in me. Today, they feel very proud of me, and they support me in conducting classes. In the last week, I took a class with a Navy officer, and I, my parents, they contributed, they supported me in hosting this class. So, uh, yeah, they are very proud, and they share it with family members, extended family members, and in our relationship, there is a satisfaction because I am satisfied as a teacher. So they feel satisfaction that, yeah, I'm doing something which uh, resonates with my spirit. And it's now I'm in terms with where I am as a human, where my barriers are as a human, and I have distinguished to a level where I know that as a human, along with all of the humanness, we need to take any and every action, any and every stand so that we can contribute to humanity, because as a human it's unlimited, like unlimited potential to grow, and we should not wait for that rainbow to strike one day and then we will teach. No. So yeah, this is something which I have distinguished, and it's a powerful place in my family. Thank you.
So what are the current projects you're working upon, and so if people have to contact you, how they can contact you? If you can share about your handles, or you have some websites or
Yeah.
your presence, where are your presence are, so that they can contact.
Yes, I have. I use my social media handle as AR Vidisha. AR is the abbreviation for architect, and this is my social media handle. You can see, like, if you are active on a particular social media. I am mainly active on Twitter as far as it goes to announce my classes, and
Okay.
I'm also breaking my social media barriers, and I'll be more expressive on each and every app. So yeah,
Okay, so you are active now on Twitter mostly.
mostly.
So any current classes that you are going to take, means online, or uh, that classes you want to talk about, which are, have you planned any online, or you know
Yeah,
even in-person classes, because now yoga and gyms are started back, so that's a good news.
yeah.
So we can start our you know sessions now. Uh, any classes that you want?
Yes, yes, I'm open to take personal classes at my residence, or if I want to travel, if I if that is possible, considering the current lockdown scenarios. So yeah, hosting personal class sounds appropriate in this situation. So yes, I'm open to take up Upi Yoga and Angamardana, and also online classes. So yes, in the coming month, I would announce a online class, because there have been certain requests. So
Okay.
I will be fulfilling those. I will be posting it on Twitter and announcing them. So
At last, you want to say something about Sadhguru?
yes, there is a lot to say about Sadhguru. At the same time, I feel like uh, no words can measure that up. So yeah, Sadhguru resembles my father. Sadhguru was born on 3rd September. My father was born on 2nd September. So they both resemble. My father has the similar traits of perfectionism. Everything that he has to do it perfect. And whenever he does something, I feel like he is going in deep meditation. So yes, and I do experience Sadhguru as if maybe I was his daughter in his some of the past life. So yes, and it's not a mere coincidence that I got selected, and there has been so much work to be done on me, and they have selected, and Sadhguru says that he doesn't want teachers, he wants yogis. So that fills my eyes up, because I am I'm still a human being, and I'm still resonating with my own humanness, and I still know that there are so many aspects as a human being, so many compulsions of a human being that need to be transformed to go far out, like Sadhguru dreams of. He wants to impact the entire world. So I think that's a great purpose to keep staying alive. So, yeah, hats off to a great leader, a mystic, and a spiritual master. Um, it's a deja vu always. It is not only from this life, for sure. So yes, I'm really, yeah, I'm touched.
So it was I would you can contact her. So it was a pleasure talking to you, Akka, and thank you for giving your time. Uh, Namaskaram.
Yes, it's a beautiful conversation. It's a great pleasure that you have asked me certain questions and I have opened myself up. I have never opened myself up with some aspects which I have shared in this video. And to my best intention, and I invite everybody to experience Isha Hat Yoga, Isha Yoga, and also visit the ashram whenever there is a possibility. I'm sure there lies a great stand and leadership for each human to keep existing, to keep expanding, and to keep growing. And if there is no purpose for you to live, then you are ready to be a purpose for somebody else's life. So please don't give up your life. Your two hands, two legs, your four limbs are really important, and humanity needs you. So thank you for being courageous, and thank you for being alive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Namaskar.